The first casualty of the unrest in New Caledonia has been confirmed as tensions continue to escalate in the French territory. Violence broke out on Monday night following protests by Kanak pro-independence supporters against a proposed bill which would enable thousands more non-Indigenous people to vote in local elections in New Caledonia. The French High Commissioner to New Caledonia has confirmed the person who died was a civilian. Louis Lefranc has begged protesters to stop the revolt and called for calm. More than 130 people have been arrested and another overnight curfew has been announced for overnight Wednesday. There are also fears the progress of controversial legislation through the French National Assembly overnight could further inflame the situation in Nouméa. Patrick de Cloitre on our French Pacific desk has been following developments and joins me now. Kia ora, Patrick. What's the latest we know?
Well, obviously, Koroy, last night the French National Assembly has finally voted for this constitutional amendment that would modify the conditions of eligibility for voters in local elections in New Caledonia. Even though the process is not completed, it could have triggered more violence from New Caledonia on the ground. And what the French commissioner has just announced is that they are now in the position to confirm that the first dead fatality has happened as a result of apparently a clash between the young rioters, Kanak, pro-independence, who were armed, and a new phenomenon in New Caledonia, which is the formation of militias from those people on the other side who are trying to defend themselves. The problem in New Caledonia is that the number of people in possession of firearms is pretty high. Officially, the gun permits are for hunting purposes. That means also the weapons are of high caliber for large game. And this is exactly what happened 40 years ago, in the sense that when people in New Caledonia start to take the guns, it can become very destructive.
This started, just backtracking a bit, this started with seemingly orderly, peaceful protests for this legislation, this proposed bill that you mentioned that's making its way through the French lawmaking process. Do we know what sparked it? Do we know what set off the violence?
All we can say now is that from all sides, for the last 20 or 48 hours, all the political parties, pro-independence or pro-French, have all called for calm. We know already that the group that was supposed to be coordinating all these actions, the CCAT, the Field Action Coordinating Committee, was created, or rather revived, by one of the components of the umbrella FLNKS, and the component was Union Caledonian. They set up this group. Even this group now is saying, its leader has been saying yesterday that he had never actually instructed his people to especially loot in the shops. But there's a general feeling now that these guys, these young people mostly, are out of control. Nobody can. Somebody has actually said, the lady mayor of Nouméa has said yesterday in a press conference that they have created a monster and nobody knows where this monster is going to go next.
Speaking to people in New Caledonia yesterday, a lot of people are saying it took them by surprise. It was something that happened suddenly. But we, through your reporting and the stories you've been covering, this has been building up to this for months, right?
Yes, it has been building up for months, because this organization I was referring to earlier has set a very well-planned schedule of demonstrations and marches, and they have their own system of like a cyclone, a magnitude category. They said we started with category 1 and then 2. Not so long ago, just a few days ago, I think on Sunday they said we have now reached 2.5, and well, now we see the results of what a phenomenon of magnitude 2.5 can look like.
Some reports from the ground we're getting are that police are overwhelmed. Reinforcements have arrived from France, but still, curfew last night was not able to contain more violence. What's likely to happen now? Is there any more escalation in terms of the security aspect?
Well, if we speak about just last night, apparently, curfew or no curfew didn't really make any difference because the buildings and businesses have continued to burn. There are more now burnings. Last night, a very famous sports supermarket has completely been burned to the ground. There are other places where actually what the description was like this morning in Numea is that it looked like a cloudy day. It was not clouds. It was smoke.
Is there any call for a state of emergency? We know there's military in New Caledonia. Are they being called out to help?
Well, at least one person has publicized actually the letter she has sent to the French president, and this is the president of the southern province where Numea is located, Mrs. Sonia Baques. She's actually called the president to, just like you said, rely more on the military, who would come to back up the police and gendarmes to regain control of the situation while it's still possible. She's actually openly talking about a state of civil war.
Yes. The scenes are quite bleak looking at all of the pictures and the footage. You mentioned it being unraveling in sort of the way that it has historically. Am I right in saying that a point of difference this time, though, is that as you mentioned, the political leaders on both sides are not engaged in this, but are calling for calm and calling for de-escalation?
They are calling for calm now, but not all of them, but some of them have actually created the conditions for this situation that we have now.